It is. There it is, there it is, there it is. A little bit of awkwardness with the connection at first. Sorry to get going a couple of minutes late, everyone. Let's see who all is here. While chat is already active this week. Kitchen Witch is here. Hi. Angela, Lisa, hello. K9 is here. Devlin. Love to see everyone. Let's see, Mike is here. And Aura made it. Susie made it. K9's here. Here I am. Okay, hi. Sorry to get things kind of kicked off a couple of minutes late here, but looks like the connection is strong. Hi, everyone. Let's do this. Okay, everybody, how's it going? Well, I'm not quite on fire. I could be if I were neighbors drove by in their little golf cart. I'm doing fine, actually. What you are seeing below me is my little citronella kind of tabletop tiki torch. There it is. Tabletop tiki torch. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck? If a woodchuck could chuck wood. So there it is, because the mosquitoes are really nasty tonight. It is super humid after quite a few days of rain. But I was going to bring my fan out here, but luckily it doesn't seem like I need to. It looks like as the sun is setting, things are cooling off. There's actually a very pleasant breeze coming across the front porch, so that's really nice. So yes, hi. So let's see. Comrade Nerd has made it. Kevin Peter Hand is here reading. Looking to Dan Simmons. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's great to be here with all of you guys. Sorry about last week. Some things were needed to get done, but they got done, and that feels really good. So, alas, occasionally those things require me to miss a stream, but not very often. So, because we missed last week, I hope you guys are in the mood for a mini mailbag at the beginning of the second session. And I'm talking like a serious mailbag. You guys good with that? Because there's some cool stuff that's turned up. Okay, so we'll do that beginning of the second session. Hopefully that'll make up for missing all of this last week. But I do miss you guys. I have missed you guys. I hope you're all doing well. Let's see. Aura is still reading Authority. Mike is reading Written on the Dark. Very nice. Very, very nice choice. Now, as you see, am I going to get it right? I did. I got it. First time. For me, this is like putting in the USB connection right the first time instead of having to flip it. I actually did this right the first time. Pointing. I'm not going to say I've been slumping, but I have lately been concentrating on review writing and recent stuff and getting caught up and getting scripts prepared, because once again I want this to be a good recording weekend. And when I got done with a lot of that, I was just like, it's like, do I have the energy to just like leap right into another new thing, even though I know I need to? Because like my next priority for my reading is going to be catching up with P.J. Lee Clark, because P.J. Lee Clark, wonderful author, has written what's the one, the Master of Jinn, and I think the most recent one is the Dead Cattails Assassin. He is going to be the guest of honor at Armadillocon this fall, and I do my live interview with the guest of honor each year, and so I want to get prepped. So, but for now, I just kind of felt like when I feel like a slump may be coming on, the only thing I can do is go back to happy, familiar, cozy. I won't say cozy, but this is my happy place, right? The stuff that I know, that I love, that I haven't reread so many. I don't do too much rereading very often, but I have books that I set aside that I'm like, this put me in my happy place. And I can always come back here if I need to kind of get the reading mojo going again. So, I'm going all the way back to Revelation Space tonight, and I'm just going to kind of bask in that world, and it will bring me back into the right headspace for some new reading, I think. But, yeah. But Susan's here, reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. I have that. I'm thinking about, when to start it, and maybe, I don't know. Okay, everyone, let's not make fun of books, tea, and owls. There could really be a good reason to read Fourth Wing. Like, you're going to get on the hype train. Hey, actually, I'll be very curious to hear what you think of that, books, tea, and owls. So, no hate here. Kitchen Witch. Atmosphere looks good. Adding it to my TBR pile. Okay. Susie, Master of Gin on TBR. Yes. Ring Shout. Ring Shout's another one that he did. An amazing book. So, yes, I'm very, very much looking forward to that convention and that interview. And then, of course, I'll be recording the interview. My interview recording kind of setup has become a lot more sophisticated. Now I've got some GoPros that I bought to act as, like, you know, camera 2 and 3 sort of a thing. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, no judgment at all. This is a no judgment zone. And I read it and reviewed it, so I cannot at all judge anyone else for reading it. Master of Gin, yes. Lisa's reading Sword of Kaigen. And let me scroll back because I was like talking to folks, and so I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's reading choice tonight. So yeah, RPG portal type fantasy. So Whisper Down the Lane. Oh yes, that's what's the name? Kevin MacLeod Chapman, or did I get that name right? Clay MacLeod Chapman. There we go. Took me a second. Devlin is reading He Who Fights with Monsters. I'm not familiar with that title. All that, so it's really good. Taylor Jenkins Reid. Okay, the new Taylor Jenkins Reid, yeah, is apparently about the space program. Set in the 80s. Okay, that will be interesting to hear. Very interesting to hear what you think about that, Angela. So, what else? Yeah, hello, Ron. Yeah, like I told everyone, I'm trying to kind of avoid slumping a bit, and so I want to get myself. I just want to have a, a happy familiar read tonight. Because, and they're back, at least this one. So, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. Start the timer. I'm really, really glad to be with all of you guys tonight. I know, K9, right? I'm going to take it as a positive omen. Okay, so 45 minutes and counting. Starting now. Adjust framing. The citronella oil really does help to keep the skeeters away because they can get nasty. Anyway. Oh. The lady who runs the local rescue has just dropped by out front and is dropping off some more like free dog food and treats and stuff, which is always super helpful. Pretty awesome. You're taking care of as many medical rescues as we do, it's a big help. And she just gets a lot of stuff just donated from everywhere, so it's like sweet. They're doing really fine, Devlin. Thank you for asking. Let's see. Holly is getting very attached to Davy, the bait dog, and he's a beautiful boy. But she feels bad because she's also attached to Orson. The boy dogs are like big lap cuddlers. But we're still kind of keeping them separate because we don't know how they'd react to each other. Davy is still intact also. So they kind of like are allowed kind of to roam and be out of their rooms at different times. But every single time they come out, they're just super lovey, cuddly, and we're like, oh great, okay. But it's wonderful. I mean, they're all doing well. And thanks for asking. And we are being well restocked, aren't we?
Can you say hi real quick?
Yeah. Hey. How you doing? Hey. How's it going, Cooper? Good to see you.
You too.
How you been?
Good. I like this all the candles on
This
it.
is this is the woman that runs Jefferson. Y'all,
Yeah.
she's the one that crawled down a 30-foot well and saved Orson. They've all met Orson.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Orson's been out here and has sat on the stream.
Aww,
and
yeah.
He went, first time he had his cone on.
This woman here. How old are you?
I'll be 51 in August.
Yes.
Okay.
Climbed down a 30-foot well and saved Orson.
Like didn't have a Assassin's Creed style. She didn't have a ladder or anything.
No,
she
this
just,
is Matrix time.
Yeah, she was just
She had a rope.
Well, you got pulled up with a rope, but you went down.
I had a
hand over hand.
safety harness on,
Right.
Which was a
rope
Yeah.
that was just tied around my waist. And then they tied loops on the other rope that I kind of just put my foot in and went down one at a time. And when I got down there, I put the safety harness on him, so all I had as a means of getting back up was the one step at a time. But
the safety harness was just a rope. It was just a rope wrapped around it. That's not a safety harness.
No, it isn't.
No carabiners.
And then I didn't have that once I gave it to him, which is fine.
Yeah.
But my tailbone suffered as a result from that smooth well. So when
she's
you
like,
make wells, people, make it with some texture.
Yeah.
Like I said,
she's the one that does Friends of Jefferson Animals, which the county doesn't help. It's just...
It's all her.
I will tell you that they, in the, X amount of years I've been doing this, they've never come to the plate until this last year because I've badgered them every year because the majority of animals, like on Monday, we sent 30 to New York. None of them were from the city. They were all county animals. So I badgered them enough that the money that the federal government gave out during COVID, that each state and county had to use it or lose it and give back this past year, they finally gave me a little to do spay and neuters.
All right, question. This is his book club.
Yeah,
do you have any books
folks,
you can suggest?
So when I taught high school English prior to COVID, my favorite book that I would teach with kids was called The Glass Castle. And there is a movie that has Woody Harrelson that plays the dad in it.
Okay.
But the book, of course, is better than the movie.
Anybody know that one? Yeah.
But the movie was good, but the book is great.
As always, So
and
there you
then
go.
the other one that I'd recommend that's about the Jefferson area is no longer in print, but you can find it used on Amazon. It's called Love is a Wild Assault.
Yeah.
And if you've heard of Potter's Creek or Potter's Point, it was after Harriet Potter, and it was back when Indians roamed Caddo Lake.
Like a big historical novel. Like it came out Like when it came out, it was
it's not
huge...
sci-fi or fantasy.
Yeah, but it's
this
not.
isn't their sci-fi fantasy.
Gotcha.
But,
No,
yeah.
this is a true story, but this is back in the 1800s. Her husband went off to war and presumably died. He didn't come back for years. And so she remarried Colonel Potter.
Wow,
And she was
there you
kind of, for lack of better words, a badass back then. Like, she did whatever. And then the husband showed back up. And the
spoiled it
Scarlet
all.
A was stamped, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But she really loved Colonel Potter. So I don't want to spoil it for you, but that was a book I could have read numerous times. And we used to
Okay.
sell it in Jefferson.
Yeah.
And then whoever...
And there,
mean, I've
then
heard
there's
of-
Diamond Bessie,
Yeah.
who was killed by her husband, her fiance down
yeah.
by the river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for her jewels.
Got the-
yeah,
the-
For her
and Skip
jewelry,
Town.
yeah.
So there's all kind of like gothic melodrama in this town.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Diamond
Yeah.
Bessie's actually buried here in
Yeah.
Oakwood Cemetery. So,
Yeah, so-
yeah.
And people leave candles and fake jewelry at her grave. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys about that one in detail a little later on, because that's a fascinating like local legend. But anyway,
Yes.
so that's it. That is the rescue.
Nice meeting you all.
Yeah,
we
it's
were
good to have
dropping off
you.
food, so
That's Coop. That's
I
Coop
took
right
a
there.
picture of the flowers.
Okay, there you go.
he's in Lantana. Into
And it's okay.
Yeah.
the flower
I'll put some
stage right
back.
now.
Oh, very
right.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. The gardening's a...
You'll
Well,
have fun.
Thanks, guys,
Yes.
for showing up. Hey.
thank you all.
Thanks, Cooper. We'll see you guys then for bringing all that stuff, too.
Oh, absolutely.
And everybody's like, yeah. There you go. Oh, you guys are awesome. Yeah. We've got a lot of those. Also, these wildflowers around. Lantana is a good for the pollinators. The bees come in, and so I want to put some. I have an absolute wreck of a weed-strewn, garden bed that you can't see in front of me. And I want to get a landscaper in here to like clean it out and put some, because my parents used to have azaleas there, very southern. So anyway, well, that was nice to have them come and meet you guys. So, and I'll let everyone know. I'll let them all know what you said. So yeah, there's a historical novel. The one she mentioned was called Love is a Wild Assault. I think it is set in the mid 1800s, maybe around. Maybe has a little something to do with the Civil War. It was like I said, a very, very popular book when it came out. But as she mentioned, it's been out of print for a long time. Probably probably one of those books that is a product of its time. I don't remember the other title that she mentioned, but I can always play it back. It's some Glass Castle. I don't know that one either. Good memory, you guys. Canine Devlin. So. Yeah. And good Lord, there's like $300, $400 worth of dog food bags piled by my door now. That's very nice to send her things. But yeah, she is good people. I could talk to you guys about Diamond Bessie also a little bit later, because that's like, yeah, that's the kind of OJ trial situation of its day. Probably that would have been in the 1870s, I think. And one of those situations where the guy gets away with it. Same old story, right? So no more. But yeah, but she's really, really like super dedicated person, and just a really nice person to deal with. I do not know where she gets the energy. I could show you, I've got them, maybe at some point in the future, I'll show you an actual photograph of that well that she went down single-handedly to get Orson, because, I can't imagine anyone else being like, just doing it, right? Just going, because you look at it and you're like, how in the hell can you get down there and get back up? No, she did it, so, yeah. Oh, that's right, yeah, the Internet Archive probably will have that as well. Okay. So, anyway. Well, what a nice little interruption that was. That was very cool. Get to see a few other kind of little sideline aspects of the life here, outside the SFF180 situation. But anyway, yeah, both Orson and, you overheard Holly speaking, you didn't see her, but both Orson and Davy, the bait dog, are like just super mommy with her. And so, so she wants them both. She knows she can't keep them both. We've already had a few foster fails here. But if you, anyway, yeah. But so anyway. Oh yeah, ABE Books will certainly have some copies of it, and somewhere among my parents' things there are still some of their old books, and so their copy of it might be laying around. So I'll look into that. I know. It's safe. Yeah, it is. But thanks for checking. Yep. Preparedness. Yeah. Okay. Everyone's really concerned about my little tiki torch because it builds up so much smoke so heavily, but it's fine, you know. As long as you don't, I mean, if I had it right next to my pant leg, then I would really be risking serious pain, but I don't. I keep it good cushion. Oh, come on, Angela, you don't want to help Bezos rent out the city of Venice for his wedding? Why would you not want to do that? Yeah, it would. It would probably start to sting after a minute or two, Devlin. I would think. Andrew, good to have you. How you been, sir? How's everything going? I've been enjoying your regular supply of shorts. What you reading today? It's very good to see you. It has been, hasn't it? Much too long. An indie art from Andy Ewington. Okay. Yeah, I really do like how you cover the whole, like, indie waterfront. That's, you know, I think that's just really, really, really valuable coverage. Silence of the Dead. Okay. So what are you thinking of it so far? Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to use the Google and just have that on a search result. Just ready to pull up. There we go. The charts of art. Black River Orchard. Okay, so you're, wow. Yeah, I go back and forth between being like a multi-book guy, you know, because like sometimes they're just like, oh, no, I'll just do a little bit of all of these because I want to read them desperately. But then sometimes I'll shift back because a lot of times I find that reading too many books at once means it seems like I never finish any of them. And I'm trying to be a little bit more disciplined and do one at a time. But lately I feel like, okay, well, I can allow myself two. I can allow two simultaneous reads. And that won't make me feel like I'm trying to just spread myself too thin, you know. But, you know, there are people I know who are just like, yeah, I've got about 8 or 10 books going at once. I'm like, what? Come on. Okay, Ewington. Mark Ewington. Okay, this is cute. I just brought the book up on Amazon. And so it's called Silence of the Dead, but the cover art is a slice of cherry pie. And so that is sending an interesting message, I think, in terms of, okay, what to expect from this. But a magical murder mystery filled with magnificent mirth and mayhem. Okay. Yeah, well, it sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Anyway, okay, well, that's a good stopping point for me. Just for the moment. Vibe is Pratchett mixed with Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. Okay. Okay then, well that's, there we go. Okay, that gives me a good idea of what to expect from it then. Good, alright. It's been a good night for getting recommendations, isn't it, gang? Alright. Okay, so just before we cut to the intermission, I want to talk about how, the phenomenon of every time you go back and you reread a book, you'll always discover a new thing about it. And something very fascinating here is just in the first chapter of Revelation Space. You know how the big concern these days is with, generative AI and like ChatGPT taking over everything, and it is actually like impacting perhaps like even, there's a worry about the actual level of cognition, what it's doing to students and people who just use it too much, right, to kind of do the work for them. But I don't know, so here in the very first chapter, you have this archaeologist character who is at this dig, these alien ruins. And, if you've read the book, you know about this scene. But I've just was struck by this passage where he is, essentially he's having his papers, his academic papers, as he is on this dig, being written for him by a simulation, right? Kind of, so it's like, said Sylvester trained the simulation to the point where it could imitate his style more reliably than he could, given the current distractions. Later, if there was any time, he would need to proof those texts, but for now he gave them no more than a glance as he moved to the room's escritoire, something like that. Yeah, escritoire. The ornate writing desk was decorated. So anyway, here's this character doing this archaeological work, simultaneously having academic papers drafted by his AI that he's programmed to basically just mimic himself. I'm like, okay. So there we go. That's like, that little passage now takes on a whole new level of interest here, 20 years after the book, 25 years after the book came out. So, yeah, Andrew, if you are into, all things epic in scale, you could not go wrong with Alistair Reynolds. Okay, so that is first session. As usual, we're going to do the 5 minutes intermission, and I'll see you guys back here with a little mailbag. All right? See you in a bit. All right. And we are back. Okay. So, let's, tea lights are lit because the sun is now setting. It is getting nicely into twilight time. Time I like. Ooh, and I need to, sorry, I need to do this again. This stuff. Especially the elbows. I don't know why. They're really getting my, even with the lantern, you know, it is, they can be nasty out here. Just biting away. Okay. Well, here it is, as promised. I have 4 envelopes here, and 3 of them are tour titles. So let's go ahead and start with those. I'm going to lean out of frame, and back in, and hang on, we're just going to vibe with the train, and then we'll do this, okay? Andrew, I'm using OBS. It's actually not so tough, Andrew. I worked out the basics in an afternoon. Like, even the ability to, like, include my own little graphical layers like this. So, it's not really intimidating if you just sit down with it for a few minutes. The trains have had pretty good timing tonight. Like, first one came right at the beginning of the first session. The second one just now, so hope we get a few more as the evening progresses. But anyway, I'll go ahead and get on with this so we're not dragging it out too much. But yeah, so the first of 3 of the tour packages, and this one, this is the ARC from Tor.com for a book called Psychopomp and Circumstance. The author is Eden Royce, as you see, and we have missing looking little skeleton fingers there, and her her necklace looks like a dream catcher, or or something similar. Anyway, so there it is. I'll read to you. It says a Southern Gothic historical fantasy story of a contentious funeral in her adult fiction debut. So I guess she has a YA background. It says, Fee St. Margaret is a daughter of the Reconstruction, born to a family of free black business owners in New Charleston. Coddled to within an inch of her life by a mother who refuses to let her daughter live a life other than the one she dictates, Fee yearns to demonstrate that Fee yearns to demonstrate that she's capable of more than simply marrying well. When word arrives that her Aunt Cleo, long estranged from the family, has passed away, Fee risks her mother's wrath to step up and accept the role of Pomp, the highly honored duty of planning the funeral service. Traveling alone to the town of Horizon and her aunt's unsettling home, Fee soon discovers that visions and shadows beckon from every reflective surface, and that some secrets transcend the borders of life and death. So, that sounds really nice. So, from Eden Royce, Psycho Pomp and Circumstance, it says it is in October. From Tor.com, see, short novel, 162 pages. So, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, love the cover on that one, Devlin. All right. And then, following up, also from Tor.com, we have another, no, this is from Nightfire. This is another arc. And this is Cathedral of the Drowned by Nathan Ballingrud. Now, this is the sequel to Crypt of the Moon Spider. It is, and this is, the trilogy is called, what's it called right here? It's the, come on, see? It's the Lunar Gothic trilogy, okay? And, yeah, well, there it is, right there. So, the sequel, a dripping, squirming, scuttling tale of altered bodies and minds. So, this is a trilogy, but these are, novellas, short novels. This one is, 128 pages. And, just to give, I don't want to, here it is. There are two halves of Charlie Duchamp. One is a brain in a jar, stranded on Jupiter's jungle moon Io, who just wants to go home. The other is hanging on the wall of Barrowfield Home on Earth's own moon, host to the eggs of the moon spider, and filled with a murderous rage. On Io, deep in the flooded remains of a crashed cathedral ship, lives a giant centipede called the Bishop, who has taken control of the drowned astronauts inside. Both Charlies converge here, stalking each other in the haunted ruins, while a new moon spider prepares to hatch. Wow. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, it is a trilogy of novellas, Cathedral of the Drowned, and as you probably guessed from, Io being described as having jungles and everything, he's working in the same kind of planetary romance field that he was doing with The Strange, but I think, with definitely a kind of, a space gothic going on at the same time. So, yeah, this looks like all kinds of fun. And also in October. All right? And then, right here, okay, this is not an arc. This is a finished copy. But this is just out. This is the new Tor Essentials edition of The Prestige, the novel by Christopher Priest. As you all know, made into the Christopher Nolan movie about the two magicians in conflict. Right, in 1878, two young stage magicians clash in the dark during the course of a fraudulent séance. From this moment on, their lives become webs of deceit and revelation as they vie to outwit and expose one another. So this, I believe, is out, probably, this month, or July title. Whoa, I've got it. There's a sell sheet right here, Thomas. Duh. Why don't you read it? July 15th. This one comes out. So, new Tor Essentials edition. If you are a fan of the movie, that's Hugh Jackman and it was David Bowie played Nikola Tesla. So, if you like the movie and you've always been curious about the book, well, once again, you will have a chance to pick the book up. It's because it's being re-released. So that's The Prestige from Tor Essentials. Okay. And then finally, lead up and back. This one is, this is from Red Hook Publishing, which is a Hachette. Christian Bale. Okay, it was Christian Bale was in it, but Hugh Jackman was also in it. Am I right? I think so. Oh great, now I'm going to doubt myself all night. Anyway, if you know the movie, there you go. Anyway, so this is from Red Hook Publishing. This is a Hachette imprint, similar to Orbit, and This is a book called A Mother's Guide to the Apocalypse. The author is Holly Overton. Okay. This comes out August 19th, apparently. And, let's see. If you knew the world was ending, how far would you go to protect the people you love? How would you ensure their survival? And what secrets would you want to keep buried? For Olivia Clark, the summer of 2024 was the beginning of the end. Political upheaval and natural disasters are bad enough, but when danger arrives on her doorstep, threatening her triplet daughters, Olivia finds herself scrolling doomsday prepping forums for hours, determined to protect her family from the coming apocalypse. Olivia's husband and friends insist she is being irrational until she is swept away in a flash flood that devastated L.A. At least that's the story her daughters were told. 18 years later, the Clark triplets discover a guidebook that calls into question everything their father told them about their mother and her death. Reeling from this betrayal, the family returns to California, determined to uncover Olivia's true fate. Confronted by an unfamiliar world, where nothing and no one are what they seem, the sisters must unravel the truth about the father who raised them and the mother who may have abandoned them, while struggling to hold on to the one constant in their lives, each other. Okay. So there we go. A Mother's Guide to the Apocalypse. I think Red Hook is the imprint where, it's kind of a sister imprint to Orbit that I think handles perhaps the more literary end of the genre fiction that they do. But this one, I guess, apocalyptic family drama, comes out, as I said, on August 19th. So, interesting. Interesting. Again, not the sort of thing that I might have been aware of otherwise. Okay. Well, we will see. I will try to get a review in, a little bit closer to, publication time. So, all right, everyone. Well, that was that. It's a big 4-title mailbag for tonight. Very, very excited to be able to do that. So, but that's what happens. You skip a week and the mail builds up a little. So, all right. So I guess we are back to it. And, hello, Preston. Oh, good to have you here. Thanks for coming. I'm resetting 45 minutes for session 2, beginning now. Glad you could make it, Preston. Thanks. I hope you've had a good week. Waiting for it, get my book. Oh, well, that's neat to hear, Angela. Cool. Atmosphere is the new novel by Taylor Jenkins Reid. More of a mainstream author. Wrote, I think, was it Daisy Jones and the Six? Which is, yeah, a book that is absolutely totally not about Fleetwood Mac. A fictionalized version of them. But anyway, so this is a different sort of a thing. But, yeah, Cicada's great. Cicada's, yeah, I really love them this time of year. And 10 week. Wow. The Apollo disaster. Oh, that's okay. Is the Challenger part of the book, Angela? Okay, okay. All right, so the navigator standing in for the Challenger, because that was the same. All right, yeah, close to the same year, I think. Okay, I'm going to age myself, but I remember exactly where I was. When I first heard about the Challenger explosion, I was a first year at the University of Houston, and I remember parking and walking through the communications building, which is where most of my film classes were, pathway going through that, and then the long pathway led down this kind of, just open air concourse, lots of grass for students to sit on, big space like that, to a little area called the Student Center Satellite. We all just called it the Satellite. And it was, you just would go down some steps, and it was like a little cafe and, convenience store, TV area, just a chill out area for like between classes, just to hang out. And so I was walking towards that, and then a good friend of mine was coming up out of the Satellite, walking towards me, and just had this kind of, look on her face. And I was like, hey, what's up? And without even saying hello, she just said, the space shuttle exploded. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, wait, what? First, and then we both walked back down into the TV area, and they were showing the news, just the replays over and over and over. Yeah, so. That's right. Yep. Yeah, January 86 was when that happened. And I remember people driving with their headlights on for a couple of months afterwards, during the day. Commemorate that, so. Okay. So a fellow Xer, Ron. Very nice. Yeah, that was interesting time. And hated it though. Wow. Okay. Get in first grade. That's right. Because of Krista McAuliffe. School teacher on the cruise, so a lot of classrooms would have been watching that live because a teacher was on the shuttle. Wow, yeah, I remember that. So I wonder how, teachers were like, oh God, now we're going to have a big discussion all day and for days and days now. I just don't want the kids to see that. So. I would never ask anyone their age. Of course, if you wish to volunteer that amongst each other, you go right ahead. Yeah, you might be near the younger end of my viewership, K9. Oh, okay. Well, I guess Preston is yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, Preston and so you two are 30-somethings, Preston and K9. Oh wow. Okay. No, it's all. Hey, like I say, you want to volunteer? That's fine. I'm just saying that I would not be the kind of person to ask. I feel like that, it's not my place to ask. But it is certainly anyone's privilege to volunteer whatever information about themselves they wish. Yeah. It's fine, K9, not to worry. Yeah. I'm going to say that the first major tragedy I remember would have been Jonestown. That would have been the one that consumed conversation for months and months and months. Angela, you will still be wondering that when 50 shows up. It's just how it works. I don't make the rules, it just happens that way, and it doesn't ask what we want or anything else. Just is what it is. So, I think for me... Oh, okay. Kitchen Witch has lapped us all, I think, including myself. Wow, my goodness, okay, yeah. Well, very, very happy to have an OG like yourself amongst us, Kitchen Witch. Oh, is it almost Susie's birthday? Oh, there he is. I missed that post. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, okay, one more week. That means next Thursday we're all going to sing, and we're going to have that will give me an excuse. I get to eat cake on next week's stream for Susie. There we go. That's my excuse. Well, happy early birthday. We will celebrate next Thursday for sure. Yes, let's do that. Yeah, everyone just give yourselves permission. Yeah, next Thursday, bring a little cake, a little cupcake, just some sweet treat, because it's birthday. That's it. I'm already excited. Oh, a birthday on the 4th of July. Okay, so that's... it's like people who were born on December 25th or something. It's like a birthday on top of a big holiday. Yeah, why not? Preston, go for it. Now that would be a perfect birthday. October 31st. That is so disappointing. When you get the cake, but not the cake that you want. It just seems cruel. Yeah. Oh, kitchen witch. Yeah, I would hope a truck would not be incessantly honking like that. That would not be very neighborly. Well, it's nice to hear, Angela. Thanks for that. Thanks for that review. I was wondering if it would be of interest as something like a bit of slipstream fiction, science fiction adjacent or something. Have you been assigned anything specific, Angela, or just short fiction generally? Wow, that was startling. There's just some folks cutting up. Speaking of Bradbury, I just saw that I think Harper Voyager is doing a bunch of re-releases this fall. They're doing a new hardcover version of The Martian Chronicles, which is going to be like all those spiffy special editions that are coming out now with the sprayed edges, and it's all pretty. And then they're going to be doing new paperbacks, trade paperbacks of some other books. I know that I think one is The Illustrated Man, which is a novel, but also kind of like a fix-up novel. It's a story collection at the same time. The October Country, and then another one. It might be a Medicine for Melancholy. I'm not sure. But yes, so that's going to be like later on this year, maybe around October or some. Excuse me. So I wouldn't mind getting that. Certainly the version of Martian Chronicles. That would be neat. But okay. Well, everyone, that is it. That is second session. 45 minutes, done and dusted. K9, are you being... wow, I don't know what that was. I don't know if you're teasing or not, K9. I mean, Analog is, one of the most long-running, famous science fiction magazines out there, so I don't know if you're kind of teasing or maybe being facetious, or not. I mean, if you're not accustomed to reading the print magazines, yeah, you might not know much about Analog. And one thing that is really kind of sad to me is the way that the print magazines, they're still out there just like keeping it, trying to keep on keeping on, especially in these very, very, very financially difficult times for publishing. They're just still out there. But I feel like even the science fiction community isn't just really paying attention anymore. Like the Hugo and Nebula ballots now never seem to have stories on them from Asimov's or Analog. It's always from the online magazines, right? Like Uncanny and Lightspeed and all of that. And I just feel like they're not really well appreciated. And I want to start bringing back my series of short takes with, a focus on the print mags, because I discover so many wonderful stories in the print mags that I personally think are so much more fulfilling than what ends up on the award ballots. But it doesn't seem that people are just really reading them anymore, and it's a shame. So, no, it's fine. Analog was started out as Astounding, right? And so it goes like back to the 1930s, but it's been Analog since like the 1960s, and it just keeps on keeping on. So, yeah, and it is probably one of the last remaining bastions where you can find like hard sci-fi stories, of a certain type. But anyway, so yeah. Okay, let me see. Is there anything else that I need to bring up before I sign off? I don't think so. Okay, so everyone remember, cake next week. That's going to be it'll be our birthday celebration week for Susie, and otherwise, thank you all so much. It was great to be back after missing a week. Yeah, very fun little visit from Dina. I'm glad you all got to meet her. You know, so I mean, the whole dog thing is all very, very much a real part of our lives. And yeah, otherwise, thank you all so much. You know, watch this space for further information. I'll try to jump into the Discord here over the next couple of days and chat with some folks. You know, if you know, just to catch up on some things. But otherwise, I love you guys very much. Thank you all for being part of the SFF180 family. And yeah, I will see you this time next Thursday. Okay? Signing off, and you guys take care. Love you. Good night.